Welcome back, friends. Zach here. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning and I decided to come into my local Goodwill, look around. It's been almost a week since I've been in here. Haven't been doing too much thrifting this time of year just because garage sales, estate sales, and yard sales have been hot. So I want to take advantage as much as I can of those low costs that I pay while doing those type of sales. But today I'm going to go ahead and dance around this Goodwill, just see if I can't find anything that's worth a grab. Found this South Park Kenny. It's got the tags on it. They want $4 for it. They sell for about 15-20 bucks, so I'm gonna think it through. I found this Greg Norman men's polo. It's large, new with tags. $5, gonna grab it. All right, these are Ralph Lauren pajama bottoms, and they're only $6. These are new with tags, and if you look at the retail, it's 55 bucks. And so for $6, I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. I don't sell enough Ralph Lauren. All right, so prices at my local Goodwill just continue to go up, hence the importance of doing your market research. So only picked up two of the items I looked at Goodwill, and that would be the Greg Norman golf polo for $5 new with tags. I didn't want to pass on it. Now, Greg Norman polos are generally something I probably wouldn't pick up unless it was extremely cheap if it was used, but for new, for $5, I'm certain I can make somewhere between 18 to 20 bucks maybe off of it. And then the Ralph Lauren pajama bottoms were only $6. They were new with tags. The tag retail was $55. I won't make that off of it, even selling it advertised as new, but if I can make somewhere between maybe 24 to 32 bucks off of it, I'll be good with that. We are coming into fall, we're coming into the winter months, and people just like to start buying those jackets, pajama bottoms, warmer items, and I'm definitely seeing an uptick in my eBay store with those type of sales. So if you're not listing your winter items, you better start getting them out there. The sooner the better. So just pulled up to the Secondhand Wolf thrift store. This is a smaller thrift store that operates as a non-profit, and I do come in here quite a bit. I don't buy a lot because this is a smaller store and it does have a lot of hard goods, but I do know the ladies well. They've been good to me, and this is one of the few stores that I'm able to haggle my prices on occasion. So I'm really grateful when I can do that. Being a smaller reseller from a more rural area can make it really hard, especially during the winter months, because I do have limited thrift store options and I don't have any garage sales or yard sales during the winter months. So after the holidays pass and my death pile dwindles down, I really have to depend on thrifting to get by, but it is only a certain portion of the season that I have to do that, and I'm glad. One of my big goals in the last few years is to try to bulk up my death pile so that I can make it through winter and not have to pay up at thrift stores as I'm waiting for the springtime to come and the garage sales to kick off. So regardless of how you operate your business, it's going to be different than mine because you come from a different area with a different way of thrifting, sourcing, and finding goods. And regardless of how you do that, just maintain good connections. I can't stress that enough. My good friend that runs this establishment has informed me it is 50% off today, store-wide. I'm digging deep, haven't found anything yet, but gonna keep on looking. I'm not finding a whole lot, just looking in the hard goods aisle. No, I dug through this plush, looking at the toys, and still nothing to grab. My good friend Heather here is letting me take a gander at their back stock. They got a lot of jackets hung up, but they haven't got them out on the floor yet. And so super grateful she's letting me do this, especially because it's 50% off today. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to shred through some of this pretty quick and get the heck out. I love vintage adventure apparel, and this is an old vintage women's large wool North Face jacket. It does have a little bit of staining on it, but you can believe I'm gonna grab it. I don't mess with too much Eddie Bauer unless it's vintage and it's gotta have some down in it. And so this down puffer is a women's 2XL. Seems to be in good shape. Definitely gonna grab it. Hidden in a bunch of junk, I found this Dakine ski bag. It's $10. They got it marked to 5. Gonna grab it. I'm gonna share with you what I hauled out of there. I got the Dakine ski bag for $5. Got the cool North Face wool vintage coat for $8. It was marked down to $4, being it was 50% off today. And then after that, I did come away with the Eddie Bauer puffer. It's goosed down, it's in great shape. And then Cody James is just always a solid seller for me. This is a canvas fleece line jacket with a corduroy collar, and so hard to say what the Eddie Bauer jacket will go for. I think this guy right here might get me close to $30. I'm hoping maybe the Eddie Bauer jacket's 35, 45 bucks. That's just throwing that out there, but nonetheless, glad to walk away with only $17 spent. I love selling jackets. It's where I make a lot of my money in the winter, so find something that does good for you and go to town with it. Just left the secondhand woof. Super grateful for my dear friend Heather, who's always hooking me up. I'm just glad I asked her if I could go to the back and look at her jackets. We had discussed this about a week and a half ago, and I was not thrifting much at all last week, so I never made it in there to kind of look over what she had. She hooked me up, and so now I'm heading to the thrift store very near my house. As I was at my last stop, my dear friend Deb, who's also always looking out for me, always making me deals at the thrift store near my home, sent me a text message. She has a set of Carhartt coveralls, I believe, and she said they are a bigger size, but they look to be in decent condition. They were kind of folded up, but these are the kind of relationships you want to make when you are creating business connections. You want people to look out for you, and I will say the secret sauce I use, my secret power, is nothing more than just being real and friendly, being a good active listener, and just caring for people, and that has got me very far in life, in business, in work, and sometimes even in relationships. So just do that. That is going to make every bit of the difference when maybe you're struggling to find things. It's just having somebody that you can go to that might be looking out for your best interest in your business. What are you doing, stranger? This is my friend Kathy. She's been on a video before. Here's the haul from the thrift store I'm at right now, and this is a pair of double knee coveralls, Carhartt. They're a little stained up, but they're worthy of a grab. Gonna scoop them. Super cool pair of old vintage Resell rain boots. These guys are probably late 80s, early 90s if I was to guess. I'm gonna go ahead and look them up. Not sure I'll grab them, but just cool to look at. I love old vintage 80s and 90s. Reminds me of being a kid. Away with these Carhartt coveralls for $5. I went ahead and gave them an extra $1 just because they're so good to me here, and I should be able to sell these for probably 40 to 50 bucks. And yeah, just gonna roll them up, stash them for another couple months, and probably list them as we get a little bit closer to October. So just pulled up to my parents' casa. They live right next door to me. It was a pretty successful day today. I spent $34, and all in all, I'm super happy with what I came up with. Every item I bought today was on a discount, with exception to the 2 items I bought at Goodwill, but both of those were priced very nicely for being items that were new with tags on them. But one of the things I really like to share about reselling that I love is the freedom of time, the independence, and my ability to come and go and do as I please. Now, that being said, it also comes with a lot of responsibility, and if you're not self-motivated, if you don't have the intrinsic value of work and hard work and that ability to find what you need to do on a daily basis, reselling full-time may not be for you. But one of the big perks of it is that I'm able to be with my children, and as I'm up here visiting my parents this morning, I'm checking in on my dad, who recently had a minor surgery. Both my parents are near 76 years old, and as they've been tremendously successful in their lives and supportive of me as a man, not only when I was young, as well as now a grown man and a single father of several young children. I'm really happy that I can give back to them, that I can be there for them when they need. And let's face it, our parents just get older and they start to need our help probably more than we need theirs, but I would say it's a pretty equal shake with my mom and dad because they do so much for me. So just remember, there's a lot of perks to reselling, and one of them, again, is the freedom of time. And the way I look at it is time is our only currency. So gonna go ahead and wind this thing down. Thanks again for joining. Thanks again for tuning in. If you've seen me pass something that was worth something, please give me a hard time in the comments. But until next time, my friends, if you like this video, please hit like, make a comment, or please subscribe.